Well, guys, what comes around goes around. I was just reading this article titled Trump Threatens to Jail Mark Zuckerberg for Life, and in the process of reading this, I saw another article pop up that says Trump will serve 6 to 9 years behind bars if convicted of January 6 charges, one of his former lawyers predicts. And honestly, my first thought is, that is incredibly fair. Donald Trump should serve 10 years in jail for trying to subvert the will of the American people and pressure Mike Pence into choosing fake slates of electors. And that made me think, do I think Donald Trump deserves to go to jail for that amount of time for the hush money case? No, I don't think that would be fair. I want to be fair, and I think that Donald Trump going to jail for 10 years for the hush money case would be wild, but for the January 6th case, absolutely, unequivocally, Donald Trump deserves all the time in the world. Even 6 to 9, for someone his age, is very significant, host Aaron Burnett said about the 78-year-old former president. And this story is wild. I have a clip to play that goes along with it. Donald Trump's former White House lawyer anticipated that he would be sentenced to 6 to 9 years if convicted for his alleged efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. And something that I want to point out is that even if we remove the January 6th attack on the Capitol, even if we completely remove that facet, I think that what Donald Trump did still qualifies as an attempted coup. An attempted coup means you are trying to entrench your power as the president of the United States using extra legal means, sometimes violence, but you can also do it in a non-violent way. It is called a silent coup. So Donald Trump and John Eastman coming up with these unconstitutional legal theories, even if you remove January 6th, was absolutely a silent coup. And at a time when Donald Trump is grappling with potential jail time, Donald Trump's press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, decided to go on CNN, and it did not go well. Take a look and leave a like on this video.
The social media content reposted by the Republican nominee in the last 36 hours. How do you explain it? How do you explain why he is reposting content from QAnon and this misogynistic content?
Again, I will say I have not spoken to President Trump about that content this morning, and I don't think Americans are concerned with social media posts. But you said misogynistic. I assume you're also going to say that the posts were demeaning to women. I think what's demeaning to women is what has been allowed to happen over the last 4 years. I think what's demeaning to women is the fact that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are allowing an invasion of illegal criminals into our country.
I'm sorry to pause this, but this is just a very, very weak rebuttal. None of her points actually grapple with the question that was asked, and also she deflects away from a clearly misogynistic comment that Donald Trump made. Donald Trump boosted a photo of Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton, and it said something about blowjobs changing the trajectory of their life, obviously referring to Bill Clinton on one hand, and then implying that Kamala Harris slept her way to the top. Just absolutely disgusting stuff. Let's continue.
Many of whom have proven to be rapists and murderers. I think what's demeaning to women like Laken Riley and Jocelyn Nungray and Rachel Morin is the fact that they are no longer with us because of the policies of this administration. And that is what voters and your viewers care about, John.
I'm sure these 12-year-old children that passed away and their families love to be brought up every single time some Trump sycophant needs to push a policy that Trump probably doesn't even believe in himself.
Of things. And when there's content being reposted that uses QAnon slogans, and when there are these sexist, misogynistic posts, it's interesting to me that you don't think they're bad. You have no problem with them.
I didn't say that. I said that I don't think voters care. I think that voters care about the. I said I care about what's happening to our country right now. I care about the fact that as a new mother, baby formula is 30% higher and costs more than...
Just a talking point machine. The rebuttals are so incredibly weak from her, and it seems like Donald Trump only cares about making sure that he has a blonde spokeswoman. He doesn't care if the person is actually able to string together a coherent rebuttal. I'm not trying to be offensive, but Donald Trump only picks blonde women to work around him. It's like Donald Trump's own version of DEI, or at least what Republicans think DEI is, because Donald Trump will hire these underqualified women just because they are blonde. Meanwhile, there are probably people that could give a better rebuttal. I think if you put me in that spot right there, I could give a better rebuttal than her in that very moment.
It did under President Trump. I care about the fact that we have a vice president today who wants to be the president of the United States that hasn't sit down for an interview in more than 40 days to explain her positions.
And she will be sitting down for an interview today with Dana Bash, along with Governor Tim Walz. And I just wanted our viewers to know also, because you have a history of this.
I'm sure he loved that. He got to plug that interview at the perfect moment. But there is a CNN interview going on today. And at that same time, Trump is threatening to jail Mark Zuckerberg. This article reads, Donald Trump wrote a book. I think it would be more accurate to say Donald Trump published a book that someone else wrote for him. Donald Trump wrote a book. And true to form, it contains some deeply unbalanced textual musings. According to Politico, the coffee table book titled Saving America accuses Mark Zuckerberg of plotting to usurp the 2020 election in favor of President Joe Biden and warns that the Meta CEO will, quote, spend the rest of his life in prison if he crosses Trump again. And I just want to point out, Mark Zuckerberg has been sucking up to Trump over the past year or so, saying that he's uniquely American, saying that he is a patriot, and this is what Donald Trump does in return. The book, which will be released next week, features a photo of Zuckerberg and Trump during an undated meeting in the White House. According to Politico, in the caption under the photo, Trump claims that Zuckerberg would come to the Oval Office to see me. He would bring his very nice wife to dinners, be as nice as anyone could be, while always plotting to install shameful lockboxes in a true plot against the president. I mean, this is some unhinged stuff. I hate to throw this term around, but Donald Trump actually exhibits signs of schizophrenia, acting like the entire world is against him. I think it's more likely a case of narcissism. But this reminds me a lot of when Elon Musk visited the White House, and then Donald Trump took the photo of them and posted, Elon Musk would have gotten on his knees and begged me. We are watching him closely, Trump adds, and if he does anything illegal this time, he will spend the rest of his life in prison, as will others who cheat in the 2024 election. I mean, this is wild. He is openly saying it, and it's because he knows this book will only land in the hands of two people, his most ardent supporters and journalists. And for his supporters, this will make them more excited to vote for him, and with the journalists, they'll whip up some good headlines regarding Donald Trump, and he loves to be in the headlines. The former president is referring to a conspiracy theory spread in the aftermath of the 2020 election that Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla Chan had used a $350 million investment in the Center for Tech and Civic Life, a Chicago-based nonprofit, to help rig the election against him. I don't even need to say this, but this is a false conspiracy theory. It's no more true than the Dominion voting machine theories, which lost Fox News $800 million. In a June 2021 interview with Fox Business, Trump falsely claimed that he won the election and the Democrats cheated, and that Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, with the $500 million worth of phony lockboxes, put Biden votes in them. The claim was bogus then, and it's bogus today, and now we see Donald Trump facing exactly what he wants to happen to other people. Quote, it's a forceful document. You can't read this and not understand the crimes that Trump actually committed, said Cobb. If convicted, 78-year-old Trump could face up to 55 years in prison. I just want to say right off the bat, he obviously would not get 55 years. He's old as hell, and it just wouldn't happen. Cobb didn't think that he would get the full sentence, but believed he could serve 6 to 9 years behind bars, which does make sense, and this is coming from a Trump lawyer. Either way, if you enjoyed this video, if you appreciate what I do, all that I ask is that you leave a like, comment a blue heart, hit that subscribe button. Most importantly, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.